Welcome everyone. In this screencastify, I'll be demonstrating and evaluating Quizlet. Now, what is Quizlet? It is a popular educational technology tool that is used for student learning. Quizlet is an online study platform that allows teachers and students to create and use interactive study sets such as flashcards, games, and practice tests. It is widely used across K-12 and higher education because it helps with vocabulary development, memorization, and retrieval practice. Today I'll walk you through how to get started and how it can be used for learning and then evaluated based on some key educational criteria. So here's the website. It's called Quizlet.com. So getting started with Quizlet is very easy. You just sign up. So I'll be signing up here. You click sign up for free and then you can use your Google. So I'll be using my school email here. So then when you're making the account, it will ask you a few things such as finding content from your school, prepare first exam, and create flashcards. So you can also just skip these. And then there's also paid version for Quizlet. So today I'll be going over the free version, but the paid versions have many different types of advantages over the free Quizlet. So that's how it is. That's how simple it is to create the account. You just like sign in, you use your email, username, and password, or you can just use Google like I did. So once you're logged in, this is the main dashboard. Everything is clean and straightforward. You can search for existing sets over here, or you're able to create your own. So this low barrier to entry makes quizzes really teacher and student friendly. So I'm going to be demonstrating you guys how to create one. So let's make an example set for student learning. So you hit the plus button on top right, and then you can choose what you want to create. So like for example, if you click flashcard set, you can give it a title. I can just give it biology vocabulary cells. You can add a description here, but it's not necessary. So each card has their own unique term and then a definition, and you can also add images with them. So for example, if I was to use mitochondria, and the definition is the powerhouse of the cell, and the nucleus, the control center of the cell. You can add more cards, you can also delete the cards, but I'm gonna be going over with just these two. So you hit create and you click you have to choose your language, English. So you hit create and practice. So the goal, you have many different goals here. You can study for a test, or you can like also just memory practice. So I'll be going over both, but let's go with memory practice first. So when we created this, as you can see, the mitochondria, we are given two options, the powerhouse of the cell or the control center of the cell. So now students are able to use this and review terms in flashcard mode, and they're able to flip back and forth. So we know the answer to this is the powerhouse of the cell. The controls of the cell is the nucleus. So now, so this is the flashcards we created. So now I'll be going through different methods. So this is the flashcards method where you can flip back and forth. You can go through each one. It has the definitions and you're able to edit down over here. You can add or remove, you can hide the definitions and etc. Then it has many different modes. There's learn mode. So the learn mode is, it will give you the definition and you have to type out the answer. So this is the mitochondria. And then for if you get an answer wrong, for instance, if you like misspell it, like something like this, it also takes it into consideration because it kind of like matches in the system if it's close to that or not. The next method we have is the test method. So what in this test is, it will replicate like an actual test. It lets you choose the questions based on how many flashcards you have, the answers, if you want to have true and false, multiple choice, matching, or written. So you can just do multiple choice. So the powers of the cell, if you were to choose like the ribosome over here and then control cell nucleus, we submit the test. It gives us factual information such as what is correct and what is incorrect. So how could a teacher actually use this in class? For younger students, Quizlet is the perfect for vocabulary building like sight words in reading or multiplication tables in math. For middle and high school, it's useful in subjects with heavy terminology like biology, history dates, or foreign languages. Teachers are able to assign sets as independent study or use live games or group engagement. The key here is that it provides a retrieval practice, which research shows is the one of the most effective ways to strengthen long-term memory. So, how does this align with our current curriculum? Quizlet supports standards-based learning. For example, it directly aligns with New Jersey's ELA and world language standards that emphasize vocabulary, acquisition, and communication skills. Flashcards, quizzes, and audio pronunciation help students master domain-specific vocabulary in alignment with state learning goals. So here, if you were to learn, you can also audio, and then it will play the word. And then Quizlet is also very intuitive. So as students are young as elementary can navigate flashcards, while older students can easily switch into a learning method or the test method. Teachers can also share their links directly. If you were to click here, you get a share link. So if I was to paste it online, it would take me directly to this Quizlet. So this is very useful because they can use this in their platforms like Google Classroom, and the design is very straightforward and there's no training needed for this. One standout feature for this is the text to speech, where if you were to press on this, the speaker pronounces the definition of the term. On the flip side, screen reader navigation when creating sets can be tricky because there are workarounds for this and you need to import multiple things for that. Then Quizlet also goes beyond like many different just flashcards modes. There's a match game that lets students race to pair teams and definitions. Then there's a learn mode that adapts to what each student learner struggles with. This promotes active learning and keeps students motivated. And I've seen teachers use this as a quick like 5 minute warm up for before their classes because it boosts engagement. For teachers who are using Quizlet Plus, there's a class progress feature that allows students which students studied, for how long they studied, and which terms were missed the most often. So it kind of like gives them data and reporting for each student. This is useful because the data can be used by the teachers to strengthen the students' weak in areas. Even in the free version, students can self-track their progress, such as they can see it says still learning or if it says mastered. So students can self-track their progress, which builds the cognition skills. Overall, I highly recommend Quizlet as an edtech tool for teaching and student learning because it strengthens the strengths are very ease of use. The interactive study modes and the built-in accessibility features like text-to-speech align well with the curriculum standards and engage students with active learning and provides useful progress tracking. I would use it especially for vocabulary heavy units like ELA, science, history, and world languages. The only cautions are that some advanced features require a paid account, and the accessibility for screen readers using is perfect. But the free version already provides tremendous value, making Quizlet one of the most practical and effective tools for classroom learning. So thank you for watching this demonstration on Quizlet, and I hope it gives you a clear overview of how this tool works, the strengths of it, the weakness of it, and how it can support student learning in the long term.